He sent me those first two pictures with the knee braces, the back brace, the canes, 297 pounds, and his belly was out to here. And I was thinking, God, how am I going to help that guy?
When you get what you want and not what you need, when you feel so tired that you can't sleep, stuck in reverse, and tears come streaming down your face. When you lose something you can't replace, when you love someone but it goes to waste, could it be worse? Lights will guide you home.
So much weight that if I don't hold these up, they'll fall, and I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm really pleased with this, and I just want to share this with everybody. Thanks a lot.
When you're too in love to let it go, but if you never try, you'll never know.
Here's where I'm at now.
Just what you wear.
Just because I can't do it today doesn't mean I'm not going to be able to do it someday.
And I will try to fix you. Tears stream down your face when you lose something you cannot replace. Tears stream down your face, tears stream down your face. I promise you I will learn from my mistakes. Tears stream down your face, lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you.
I'm Ed Lunnon. This is my journey of a lifetime. I'm a very ordinary person from a very ordinary home, a product of what life has given me and the choices I've made along the way of my magical mystery tour through life. Yes, Ed Lunnon is a happy traveler, discovering a world of magic. I was born in Stellenbosch. I grew up in the Western Cape, and we were a family of four, three sisters and myself. At the age of 12, my father had a stroke. He became totally paralyzed. He was unable to talk, and my mom was left with 4 children, I think ranging from 14 years to 4 years old. So life was quite difficult in growing up. It was emotionally difficult, it was financially difficult, but we seemed to manage anyway. Well, you know, we had to make that decision. Do we put our dad into a nursing home and let him be cared for there and carry on life as if it was normal? Or should we keep him at home and look after him? So we decided, we had a decision as a family, we made that decision as a family, that we would look after him at home. It was extremely difficult to have somebody at home who was really totally paralyzed, sitting in a wheelchair. We had to do everything for him. And but it was a choice we made at the time. And looking back on it now, it was something that made us very caring as a family, because it was difficult looking after somebody in that condition. When I was in matric, I was deputy head boy of the school. I was approached by Rotary International to go or to apply for a tour, not for tour, to apply to go on a Rotary exchange scholarship to the United States. When I spoke to my mother about applying for this, she was quite flabbergasted, because she said, "My boy, you can apply, but if you go, you're going to have to pay 1,000 Rand. I think it was 1,200 Rand to pay for a ticket to go overseas." And she told me she just didn't have that sort of money. Once again, I made the choice. You know, I could have said, no, I'm not going to apply, but I made the choice to apply. So I applied and I was selected to go. And it was quite nerve-wracking, because I didn't have the money to pay. And on the very day that I was asked to confirm whether I was going or not, my classmates gave me a check for 1,500 Rand. They'd organised a fundraiser. One of the classmates had played an organ in a shop window for a weekend, and they'd got people to sponsor it. And well, on the very day that I was to say I was going or not, they presented me with this check, and I was able to pay, and I was able to go. And of course, that trip to the United States, it was something that has affected my life to this day. I flew out of Cape Town. I'd never flown in my life before. It was something exciting to get into an aeroplane. And flew from Cape Town, Buenos Aires, Rio de Janeiro, New York City. I was 18 at the time. And it was just the most unbelievable experience. And the families that I lived with there today, they're fourth generation families. We still have contact with those families. And as I said, it altered my life tremendously. Whilst I was in America, we went to Canada, we went to Mexico, we went East Coast, West Coast. I saw the world at the age of 18, went to Europe, came back to Africa. It really was the start of something which is still ongoing today. In the year that I was there, I graduated as a National Honours student, which is sort of a recognition for achievement, and I was also made an honorary citizen of the great state of Oklahoma during that year. And not many people, can claim citizenship to the great state of honorary citizenship to the great state of Oklahoma. It was just a tremendous year of experience whilst we were there, and as I said, something that's kept me going up until this day. Coming back to South Africa, obviously I wanted to further my studies. I had a choice of going to Stellenbosch or UCT. I decided I wanted to go back to my hometown, to Stellenbosch University. Once again, it became an issue of finance. How was I going to finance this studying at Stellenbosch? And I chose to apply for many bursaries, and eventually I was fortunate. I received a bursary from a company called AECI, and they paid for my full tuition, my accommodation, and basically put me through university. And I spent a number of years at Stellenbosch. I enjoyed it so much. I became involved. I chose to be part of committees. I chose to stand for head of hostel, and at the time English-speaking people were not the most welcome of people at Stellenbosch. So it was quite something for an English-speaking person to apply for the position. And against all the odds, I actually was elected head of the hostel. And that was quite something as an English speaker to be head of hostel. I did an HID, I did an honours degree, and I even went back in later life to go and study further at Stellenbosch, and I did a PDM, postgraduate diploma in management, specialising in managing HIV and AIDS. And I got that qualification, cum laude. But of course, with all these degrees, I had to go and work at some stage. So the time came to start working, and I moved from the Western Cape, and I chose to come here to Port Elizabeth. And I headed up the computer science laboratory, which was in the process of being established here in Port Elizabeth at the time. I spent 5 years here, and then I was lured into the business world, and I was offered a job in the business world. Again, I had to make a choice, and I had to choose what I was going to do, and I decided to go into the business world. And I initially started off in the accounting field and eventually became regional human resources manager here in the Eastern Cape. I spent 14 years of my life in the business world, working in retail. And it was then in 2002 that life came at me with a very curveball. I had a wife and 2 young kids, and at that stage the carpet was pulled out from underneath me, and I lost my job and I was out on the street. I then had to find something to do, and I chose to start my own business. And it was difficult in those early days, getting a business going, up and running, and but with a lot of hard work, managed after 5 years to get the business up and running and doing pretty well. And it was then that I suppose the biggest challenge of my life hit me. I realized at that point in time that there was something wrong. I was unable to type with all my fingers on the computer, and it's something that I'd learned overseas, to type with all 10 fingers. But suddenly my left hand wasn't working properly. I was unable to type. I was struggling to shave. I was having to hold my hand, and I realized there was a problem. So in September of 2006, it's when this started. I started visiting doctors, and I went from chiropractor to physiotherapist to doctors, MRI scans, CAT scans, specialists, neurologists, and eventually I ended up back in Stellenbosch at Tygerberg Hospital in Cape Town at the University of Stellenbosch's medical faculty. And it was in the February of 2007 that I arrived there on the Thursday morning, and I went in 9 o'clock. I remember it as if it was yesterday. I sat down, and the doctor said to me, you know, you have a very serious illness, and you're going to be severely paralyzed within 3 years. You must probably be dead within 5 years. And you have a disease called cortical basal degeneration, which is CBD. And I always remember it because it's like CBD, Central Business Districts, and like CBDs in our country, they lead to decay and degeneration, and that's what this disease was going to do to me. It was going to take away my ability to move. It's a neurological illness. You run out of dopamine, and your brain is unable to control your muscles. So that was February of 2007, and I then had to make a choice. I gave up working, I retired, and started a very different journey, which I have been on now for 7 years, irrespective of the fact that I was told that I would only make it 5 years. The news that I got that day, I refer to it as a gift because it just arrived. I don't know where it came from, I don't know who sent it to me. It just arrived one day and it was all wrapped up. And I had to start unwrapping it and start applying it in my life. I call it a gift because it's brought many positive things into my life. I was told that I had received a rare gem, in fact possibly the only person in the country who had this illness. This CBD is a gift that gradually gives of itself, and it takes away your body at the same time. It's caused by a lack of dopamine in your body, and dopamine is a chemical required by your brain to control your muscles, and my body simply wasn't manufacturing dopamine anymore, and that's why over a period of time there would be no communication between a brain which is functioning properly and the muscles which it has to control. I was told that this disease would progressively melt down my body and that I eventually would become totally incapacitated. The doctor said, go back to Port Elizabeth and go and get your things in order. Later I discovered that when a doctor tells you to get your things in order, that there's something very seriously wrong and that you're soon to die. Thus came the biggest decision in my life. You've got a choice when you get given news like that. You've got a choice of either sitting in the corner and moping, or getting on with what life has given you and making the best of it and looking at the positive things. And so with a little bit of dopamine left in the tank, that's the way I progressed, looking at the positive side of things and trying to see the positive side of what this gift had brought to me and what it was still going to bring to me. Okay, I wouldn't wish this gift on anyone, and I wouldn't want any one of you to have to get this gift. But there are incredible things that it brings into your life, and the things that it brings to you, it brings your family together, it brings your friends together, people that you haven't seen in years, people that you haven't had contact with. Suddenly there's a sense of adoration, there's a sense of admiration, and everybody's there to help and support you. You will feel loved and appreciated like never before. It recalibrates what's most important in your life. It redefines your sense of spirituality, it redefines your faith. You get a new understanding about your body, you get to appreciate your body, you get to trust your body. You acquire new knowledge, you learn new words, you learn new terms, you expand your vocabulary, you get to see a speech therapist because this disease affects your ability to talk. So you go to the gym and you get to go 2-3 times a week to get your body moving. You get to go to the gym when nobody else is there. You have the whole gym to yourself. You have a specialized a trainer helping you. You have a biokineticist. You have physiotherapists. You have water therapy, hydrotherapy. You see the speech therapist. You meet celebrities. You get invited to spend time with celebrities. A healthier lifestyle becomes the order of the day. You're the best shape that you've ever been in. You're getting all this exercise that you never previously had. You get to see all these specialized people who help you with the physical side of things. You have private nurses who visit you weekly. You have shoulder to cry on when you need it. Well, this gift enables you to stop working. You get to retire at the age of 49. You have a pensioner's card. You can make use of pensioners' discount. You can go to the spa on a Tuesday and you can get free tea. And wherever you go, you can give your pensioner's card in and you can ask for discounts. Sometimes people look at you in amazement that a young person like yourself is asking for pensioner's discount. You get a special parking bay when you go shopping. You have a special parking bay right at the front door, marked with a blue wheelchair where you can park, so you're right close to where you need to be. That's of course sometimes other people who don't have the gift make use of this parking bay, and you've got to go and look for another one somewhere else. You get to sleep in most mornings. You don't have to get up early and go to work. You get afternoon naps. You get invited to meals, and you get breakfast, and you get gourmet meals, and you get invited to coffee shops, and that's the way you spend your days, visiting all these lovely places. Saying to you, but you look so good, you look so good. They don't understand that you're taking 29, 30 tablets a day and it's keeping everything under control. But yes, you do look good. You've had a complete makeover. You've got all this physical activity that's going on. You're sleeping in late, you're going to restaurants. So it's a different type of lifestyle. You get a lifetime supply of drugs, some of it even paid for by your medical aid. And of course, you also get advised that you may consider smoking the weed and using it medicinally, of course. You'll be challenged, inspired, motivated, admired, and humbled. And your life takes on a whole new meaning. I've wanted to make people aware of this gift, cortical basal degeneration, and other gifts that come our way. So I shared my full diary documenting my journey. Firstly through emails with my friends and family. Later I used Facebook, and later Facebook became too small and I had to start using a blog site which I called live.life. Because of the uniqueness of the illness, I was invited to do an interview on Algoa FM with Lance Duplessis, who happened to be a pupil of mine when I taught. And we were going to do a once-off interview, but we didn't quite finish, and we did a second one and a third one and a fourth one, and here we are 3 years going on for 4 years later, and it's become a regular Wednesday morning slot on Algoa FM. I've been invited by people to speak all over, numerous functions. I've been overseas, I've been to London, I've been to Dublin, been to Bangkok, we've been to Phuket. So all of these things are things that have resulted as a result of my having the illness. And I've done things, seen things that I guess I would not have done had it not been for my illness. These activities and the public support in reaction to them have sustained and encouraged me through this journey of mine. The act of saying farewell to a beloved world. After all, our lives are gone too soon, and the time that we have with our friends and family is just over too soon. So it's important to make use of every single moment in your life. But we never need lose the time we spend enjoying them. It is the memory of those times that can assist us to conquer our fears of our final earthly trip, of facing death and leaving behind those whom we have loved and with whom we have shared our times. If we can conquer our fears, then we can conquer anything. Hopefully the time that you've spent traveling with me through my journey will bring home to you the importance of living life, the importance of making use of every single moment that comes your way. You know, often we tend not to see these moments. Often we tend to neglect our families, and I think it's so important for us to make use of these moments, every special one of them. In summary then, I would like to share the following with you. Life is never fair. Life depends on the choices that we make or do not make. Life comes at you like a ball bowled in cricket. Short balls, high balls, googlies and creepers. They come at you slow or at pace. Some are no balls and some are curved balls. You're like the batsman. What you do with the balls bowled at you is up to you. You must survey the scene and you must make the choice. You leave the ball or you hit the ball. Where you hit it is your choice. You miss it, or you get to hit a 6, a 4, or you get to run a double or just a single. While you are in and batting, you never give up. You set your goals. 50, 100, 200, triple century maybe. But if you're caught out or run out or bowled out, if you're out, you're out. And your innings is finished. You will be remembered for the contribution that you made to the team. For at the end, it's not whether you won or lost the game. It's how you played the game. In the words of your Caltex Eastern Cape marketer brochure, the traveler's essential, it's how you get there. I'm aware that many of you have been faced with something that has been unexpected, unwanted, and uncertain. Many of you will deal with other people that will face something unexpected, unwanted, and uncertain. Many of you will still at some future stage in your life come face to face with something that is unwanted, unexpected, and uncertain. Don't look at the half-empty glass. Look at the half-full glass. Consider that what comes your way may just also be a gift that will alter your life too. So choose to open up your gift and never give up. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you for the time that you spend following my blog site and listening to the radio.